Well, South Africa knocked off my mob Australia in the World Test Championship final. Oh, I'm disappointed about that. But well done to South Africa. They have just absolutely played their heart out. Markram was sensational, brilliant. That's probably one of the best innings I have seen in Test cricket. Under extreme pressure against probably the best bowling attack going around the world at the present moment, especially in England conditions with the Duke ball. So well done to Aiden Markram, well done to Bavuma, Rabada, and the rest of the boys for doing what they did. And did they choke? Yes, they did. They played with clarity, honesty. They had all the options that they wanted to do, and they had that kinetic energy as well as just finishing on with a little bit of elevation at the end, just taking it home. So they've reframed choke and put it in a positive frame, and they're going to move forward, and they're going to be tough to beat moving forward. And we're going to discuss that through this vlog. We've got a couple of guests on there, Sanchit and Arun, who are going to come on. And they are live. They filled out the Google form. If you want to come live with me, make sure you fill out this Google form as well. Now, we're not going to muck around. We're going to go straight to the guests because we've got India coming up on the weekend. We've just got IPL as well. There'll be a few questions about that, no doubt about it. There'll be some questions from you as well. And what else have we got? The World Test Championship final. I'm trying to forget that as quickly as possible. But if the two guests want to take the mickey out of me, give me a little bit of flack, whatever, and just nail me because South Africa win, that is okay because we've got to share the mystery around all the victories around. Now, Sanchit, how are you going? Arun, you going well? Both of you, we'll go Sanchit first. Now, Sanchit, you do your own social media, but you'd have something going on out one, Katie. A lot of Indian fans out there would know what you're doing there. Northern Stand, I think it is. Can you explain that?
So I am a part of the North Stand gang. It is the loud and proud soul of the Wankhede Stadium. We work very closely with Mumbai Cricket. We cover domestic cricket quite a lot. So recently, T20 Mumbai was a tournament which was organized by MCA, where a lot of rising Mumbai cricketers were there. So I was fortunate to have been working with MCA in covering these rising stars, and it was a wonderful tournament and it was a great experience. So now we got amazing international cricket to look forward to. And I'm so glad that finally Test cricket is back because that is what we really wanted. So yeah, excited to be a part of the show.
Oh, it's fantastic that Test cricket is back. And I'm just going to go over to Arun now. But before Arun comes in and we invite you in, the Northern Stand there, I remember going over to India in 1998. So I've been there in 1996, played the one-off Test match. We had about 11 Australians going over there. There were 5 spinners, 7 batters, I think, and we're trying to work on the conditions over there. We had Bishan Bedi, Prasanna there to help us out, and we're in Chennai. And we played this game against some local Chennai cricketers at Cheepak Stadium, Chennai home ground there. And it was amazing how many people came in and watched. There was over about 3,000 people coming in to watch. And the game wasn't even advertised. It just could not believe it. It's unbelievable, the fanaticism over there in India. Just the way. And actually, out the back end, we're going to ask what talent is coming through in Maharaja there, over there. Not Maharaja, in Mumbai. Now, Arun, you're from Chennai. You're back on here for a second time. How's things going with you?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Unlike other part of the state, here in Chennai, it's really heat is getting better. Like what it's been building up for India-England series. It's quite hot out here, like the same fever that we get here. But still, I'm totally glued, and I can't. I'm just taking the hours to getting towards the first ball of the day one for India-England series. It's a much awaited, high-profile series compared to it's been quite compared to the Australia versus England Ashes. It's great to know that it's going to be rebranded as Anderson Tendulkar, fittingly. But Tendulkar, came back saying that it's not the right time to rebrand it. So it's a great gesture from the little master himself. So right now I'm perfectly fine. I'm looking forward to the grandeur of game getting started.
Mm. Actually, I quite like it that they've actually rebranded it to Tendulkar and Anderson. I think you've got to give it that flavour, and you've got to recognise two wonderful players that have done so much for the game, both on and off the field. Tendulkar's record is absolutely phenomenal, and Anderson it's just been brilliant. I remember Anderson coming on centre stage many moons ago, and I'm just thinking medium pace, a bit of swing, easy on the bat, but just worked his game out beautifully and just annihilated Test cricket, especially over there on England conditions. He was just a master of moving the ball in the air. So well done to Anderson with his career as well. So I think it's a great and full respect for Tendulkar to come out and say, look, it's not the time to rebrand it, but you've got to rebrand it at some stage. And rebranding it with those two names is spot on. Now, would you rather the England-India series or Australia-India? Which one's a little bit hotter?
To answer that, it's very difficult, Brad sir. But I'll probably go with Australia-India just because of what was happening in the recent few series. I mean, all those crucial victories we had down under in 2018 and then 2020 and 2021. And unfortunately, we did not win it in the last time, but Bumrah's series, that was absolutely amazing. And we could have a 1 hour session talking about Jasprit Bumrah himself on the other hand. But I'll probably go with Australia versus India. It is quite hotter, not just in Australia, but whenever you guys come to India, it is equally hotter as well. So I'm looking forward to the 2027 series and a little bit of a cheeky revenge for what has happened in Australia.
What about you, Arun? I think you prefer the England-India series. A lot of history there.
No, if you compare the rivalry between India and Australia and India in England, India and Australia always stay on the top because Australians always bring that flavor of competitiveness. No, losing is absolutely non-negotiable for them. That's the best part of their way of getting into a game. Even if you give them a slim of a chance, they will make it count. Just you never know. You never know. Even they can defend 2 runs at the fag end of the day. That's the best part of the Australian team I like about them. So,
yeah,
gone are the days Australia bundling out India for paltry scores. Now India really has found the way how to counter the best attacks in the world. So that's what really make this particular rivalry even more interesting in the coming years.
Oh, definitely. Now, just raising that, because we are very competitive down here in Australia. We hate being beaten and we try and find every little angle that we can to get the advantage. Do you think this Indian culture, especially in cricket, has changed because of the interactions in IPL, but also Ganguly when he started it, to try and take on Australia at their own game? So can you see that different mindset from India at the present stage? And do you think the young group of cricketers now are going to take it to another level than what Ganguly did, then Kohli? Do you think they're going to take it to a new level now, especially with Gambia as coach? Sanjit, you can go first.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with this statement because I feel that if you look at how cricket in India has evolved over the last decade or so, I mean, if you look back maybe 2014 or 2013, whenever we used to tour overseas, we were very happy with just 1 victory and 1 draw from that series. So I remember the 2014 England tour vividly. When we won at Lord's, thanks to that Ishant Sharma spell and an amazing 100 from Ajinkya Rahane, we celebrated that victory so well, and we just forgot about what happened after that. We lost the series 3-1, but we did not care. We won at Lord's. That was the most important thing. But now the mindset has changed. Whenever we go outside, whenever we go overseas to play cricket, we want to have a series victory. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. Saurav Ganguly, Dada, he laid the soil back in 2002, 2003. The 2002, I just covered a video on my Instagram talking about the famous Leeds victory where Sachin, Dravid and Ganguly put up a masterclass of batting on a green English wicket, putting 628 runs. So that was, I think, the start where Ganguly's team actually taught Indian team on how to compete outside. And then Dhoni came, Anil Kumble came in 2007, and we won in England in 2007. And then Virat Kohli's amazing tenure as Test captain. So I think the mindset has changed, and it is so exciting to see that that we are not just here to be participants. We are here to compete, and we are here to take over. So similarly, I mean, it's a start of a new era starting from 28th June with stalwarts like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli retiring, and then you have a young captain in Shubman Gill coming up. Expectations are less, but I think the mindset will not change. We are there to have a wonderful time and create history in England. So I hope that we play with same intensity and go for the win.
Exactly right. And India aren't just there for participation at the moment. As you heard with Travis Head the other day when he was in play. So I don't know the exact words, but he said, "Oh, India will fix it up," or "India will pay you," something like that in close. A little bit cheeky, Travis, but you've got to pull your head in there. You can't keep saying that type of stuff. But on the field, India have changed it. What do you think, Arun?
Yeah, definitely India this time, with the amount of, even though they look a little bit thin on paper, but still they have the firepower to, weather the storm in England. Because it's always good to have young players who are keen to perform. At times, when the experience, if you totally rely on the experience, the chances are high that the pressure is too much on the experienced pros. But here, the young guns are, they are ready to go. They're ready to explore. This is the platform. They will never get such an opportunity to play. In the cricket's mega stature, right? India really has.
Yep.
I believe that this Indian team really has got the firepower to at least compete. I don't say compete. They are here to win. I believe they can post. And more so, England's bowling also looks pretty much inexperienced. Barring in case if Archer get into play, then they may have a chance. But it's only that batting. England's batting looks to be threatening because Indian bowling is not comparatively barring Bumrah. I don't think anyone can inflict any damage on the Bazball approach.
Well, when you talk about the bowling of India, I quite like the bowling of India. I think you've got a good balanced team here right now. You've got Boomerang there, and Boomerang is only going to be playing 3 games from what's been in the news. So you've got to use him smartly. And the way that I'd use him, not playing him in the first game. Where's the first test match? It's not at Lords, is it?
Leeds, I believe.
Yeah. I'd try and hold Boomerang back from the first test match and then have Siraj, Arshdeep Singh and Prasidh Krishna bowling with 2 spinners. You've got Jadeja as your all-rounder giving you a bit of batting depth as well as have Kuldeep in there. The reason why I'd hold Boomerang back simply for the fact that if India win that first test match, England are going to go, "Oh, Boomerang's coming in now." There's always that thing in the back of the mind. But if India don't quite get over the line that first test match, then Boomerang's coming in, and it's in the back of the mind, "Oh, Boomerang's going to make a difference." So that's one thing that's trying to work out Boomerang how you're going to play him for those 3 games is a bit of a mystery. But I like Prasidh Krishna and I like Arshdeep Singh with the Duke ball. One swings it and his left arm over the crease, and Krishna gets that extra bounce, and he also gets a little bit of movement as well. And I just like his calm collectiveness, where he just ambles back to his mark, knows exactly what he's going to do. I think he's going to have a phenomenal career for the next 5 years playing Test cricket for India. So for me, I think this bowling attack can really take on the England batting lineup. The only issue that I have with the bowling attack is Kuldeep against this batting lineup. The way that they play leg spin, they like to sweep, especially Duckett, Brook, using his reach. I think that's probably one aspect where Kuldeep has to work out a game plan to negate the sweep. Other than that, I think India have just got the right balance. But one thing with India, and I'm going to throw this up with you, if Virat Kohli was captain of this team a year or 2 ago, do you think that would have been the ultimate to lead them into the new era with that aggressiveness that he has, the hunger that he has, and just the tenacity? What do you think about that? I think Gill's going to do a good job, but Virat Kohli just having that little transition, the way that he led the team many moons ago.
Definitely. I think when I look back at the 2021 tour of England, especially after the Oval Test, we were 2-1 up. And then the COVID break happened, and the IPL, I think, was supposed to be resumed in September. Then you had that 1 year gap before he played the final test next year. So between that 1 year gap, a lot had happened in Indian cricket. We saw Virat Kohli stepping down as a T20 skipper, then also from the ODI format, and then he willingly let go of Test captains, which was, I think, a wrong move. So when I look back at the 2021 tour, I feel it as a missed opportunity. We were there, and it was time to create history, winning a series in England after 2007, and that was such a wonderful side. But now, when I look back 4 years afterwards, it feels like it feels so weird that we could not win it back then. But yeah, definitely, I agree with you, sir, that Virat, if had he been in this team as a leader, I think it would have been amazing, especially how he rallies around the fast bowlers. We have seen how he loves his fast bowling attack. We have seen how he praises it, and we also seen how the fast bowlers compliment Virat Kohli's leadership also. So it would have been amazing to see Virat leading the troops, especially the likes of Arshdeep, Siraj, his favorite man, and also Prasidh Krishna. I like how you mentioned highly about him, because somewhere I feel that he can be that tall, lanky fast bowler that India wanted after someone like an Ishant Sharma to bowl those consistent longer spells. And I think it's a big tour for Prasidh, and I'm hoping that it goes all well, because it's not just about Bumrah. Yes, I mean, it will be about which 3 matches Jasprit Bumrah will be playing in this tour, whether it's the first one, second one, we never know. But where India can win this series is about how the other bowlers step up. The likes of Prasidh, the likes of Siraj, Arshdeep, and even Akashdeep whenever he plays. So yeah, I like the look of the Indian bowling, and I hope that we turn out as a team and not just depend on Bumrah like we did in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. I like Akashdeep as well. I think he would do well over in England, but I like the balance of the other team. If I was going to have Arshdeep Singh in there, Deep in there, I'd be dropping Siraj. You've got to have Krishna and Arshdeep Singh in there. Hang on, Akash. Who was I talking about there? The other one there, Akash. Akashdeep. Yeah. Why did I say Arshdeep?
Tongue twister.
Akashdeep, I like him. If you're going to have him playing, I'd have Siraj and Krishna in and Arshdeep Singh with that balance. Arun, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy not to rely on one bowler, even of Bumrah's caliber. You cannot rely on one bowler to pick up 20 wickets with the long series in the on the line. It's really hard that other bowlers need to chip in with at least one bowler needs to support him to the core just by at least doing the containing job. Because anyway, these batters, English Bazball approach will come hard at us. So it's important for the other bowlers to keep up the momentum so that Bumrah can inflict the damage at the other end. It's not easy for him to force the issue and do all the damage himself. So I believe that Shardul Thakur will play a huge role in the series in case if at all if he's able to contribute, because he's more of a hit the deck for bowler. At times he can be a little bit more deceptive. So the change of pace will really work him in his favor, because England batters will go hammer and tongs, right? The chances of him picking up wickets is quite high. So I feel at number 8, if you're picking Shardul Thakur, it's a very key position for him to bat. Also, his contribution with ball will play a huge role in the series. So that can evenly. I like the idea of going with a bowling all-rounder rather than a batting all-rounder, because if your top 6 can't do the job, it's really hard to expect your number 8 to do the job for the rest of the game, right?
So if you've got Shardul Thakur coming in at number 8, so then you'll have Kuldeep number 9, Krishna number 10. Yeah, so Thakur will probably have to come in number 7 if you're going to play a spinner, or you play Jadeja and Thakur together.
I will go with this 11 for the first test. I'll open with the Jaiswal, KL Rahul, and Sai Sudarshan, Gill at number 4, at number 5, Rishabh Pant, at number 6, I will put Jadeja in, and I will have Washington Sundar at 7, Shardul Thakur at 8, at number 9, Bumrah, at 10, it should be a Ashdeep Singh, at 11, Siraj. This is what I will go with because Washington Sundar, as an all-rounder, easily can, he's a very handy batter at number 7. He can even bat with the tail and a perfect part-timer. If you consider him as a part-timer, he's a part-timer. If you consider him as the full-time off-spinner, he can do the job as well. So instead of going for that specialist batsman at 6, I will pick Washi at 7. Because Jadeja has the ability to bat with both the tailenders and the specialist batters as well. He can do the balancing job. What's your take on this, Hoggy?
My take is that the more I think about it, the more I like it. I would probably have Jadeja batting in front of Pant in English conditions because if you look at the way that this test match panned out, it's very tough with the new ball early on in some of these English conditions. When the ball gets older, then it's very easy to bat out in the middle with that Duke's ball. So for me, Pant is the one that can change the game on its head very quickly. So I like the team that you've got there, but where are you going to bat Pant? Are you going to bat him out 6, 7? 5 or 6. I'd actually bat him out 6 and have Jadeja coming up batting out 5 because he's done that job a little bit and he's getting a little bit more experienced in that regard. And then you've got Sundar and Thakur batting with Pant, hopefully at that back end, and they complement each other. You're actually batting a little bit deeper with giving yourself a little bit more bowling options. So I like that. And you want to make another pointer run, you've got your hand up.
Yeah. Like you said, actually, the problem with the Rishabh Pant is it's all about how much time he spent in the middle. The more time he spent in the middle, he can score whatever the runs can be scored by the top 5 in a matter of time. Like you said, he's a perfect game changer. The only problem he has is he brings that shots uncalled for too early in his innings. That's the problem. Otherwise, I'm perfectly with you that he can bat 6.
Well, you've got a bit of a problem there too. You've got so many left-handed batters in that lineup.
Correct. Yeah. India, that's what I was about to say. Once upon a time, India was lacking even a single batsman as a lefty, but now we can form a whole team with the left-handers. That's it's a kind of a boom or bend.
Let's just throw it over to the Indian bowling lineup. Now they've got Tung, who's not bad. You've got Bashir, the right arm off spinner. So he's going to be turning the ball away from those left-handers, but I don't think it really matters over there in England. It doesn't really too much until the back of the day, back of the game. Cook, Wokes, Cast, Overton. I'm looking at all those bowlers. If they come around the wicket to the left-handers, I think it's just easy goings. So for me, that bowling lineup is not a bowling lineup like Broad or Anderson, where they just hit those good lengths. They move it in the air. They get the odd one to nip off the wicket. So there's a bit of an experience there. I think the left-handers, especially with the ball going away, bring that cut out, and I think they can cut the ears off a canary going through that backward point region. I hope you got that because we use that as an Australian slang because some of the left-handers were just cutting off the stumps off that short pitch bowling. So I think that depth of left-handed batting could be really good. I'd like to get Naya in there at some stage. I think he deserves another opportunity. He made a double 100 just recently. And I just think he's a talent that's wasted. So I'd like to see him have an opportunity, but I don't know how you're going to fit him in there unless he's batting 5 in that list and you don't go with both Jadeja and Sundar. What do you think, Sanchit?
To be very honest,
Anupam was on there. Get that back up, AK. Anupam, how do you see England's bowling lineup with without Broad and Anderson? Well, I just told you. Anupam. Thanks for getting on board again. It's going to be easy pickings for the left-handed lineup that we've got there that a run's just put forward. Now, Sanchit, what's your opinion?
Yeah, so to be very honest, I actually had Karun Nair in my squad originally at number 5 or number 6. I mean, when you talked about Rishabh Pant's position, I think it's a very interesting take, and even I agree with both of you that he is someone who can change the game away, and he just need one session actually to do that. We have seen him doing it timelessly in the recent past. So I would actually have Karun Nair in my 11 at least for the initial games, because as you mentioned that India's batting order is quietly. It's a new batting order. Let's be very honest. And even though the English bowling lineup is relatively new, but we still can't take that as not a threat. So I would actually have a stability in my batting order. So I will have someone like a Karun Nair, who has had a wonderful time in domestic cricket. He has had a wonderful 2025, and recently in the practice game, I think he scored a great knock, having that wonderful partnership with Sarfaraz Khan also. So having him in that middle order can actually give us that assurity that even if a collapse happens at the top, you still have stability down the order. So at least for the first few matches, I'll have Karun Nair. Yes, it is quite defensive, but I'm just protecting my batters because I believe that our bowlers are the ones who are going to win us this series if it happens. So if we have that stability in our top 5, top 6, then I think we are there to compete. We just need to consistently score more than 350, 400 and compete with that fast-paced batting lineup of England. So for that, we need stability in the middle order, because that's where I think the games are going to be defined. We need someone to step up and stand together with someone like a Rishabh Pant. If he's doing his things, we need a calm head at the other end. So someone like a Karun Nair can provide that. And that is why I feel that Washington Sundar might not make it to the 11, according to me, at least for the first few games. He's a quality batter. We have seen what he can do with this technique, but we need a proper batter at middle order, according to me. So I'll go with Karun.
Yep, rightio. So that means that Jadeja will be coming in at number 7, and then we've got Tarkor. So you both agree that Tarkor comes in instead of Kuldeep Yadav?
Yes,
So
at least for the initial games, definitely.
Yep. And it will be Prasid, Arshdeep Singh, and Siraj for the first Test match, and Siraj out for Boomer in the second Test match, unless the other two haven't performed.
Yeah.
Right. So we just got to work out whether we're going to put Sundar in there or Naya. Jay Daban. Question for Hoggy. Do you think Bazball's approach is the right approach as England started in 2022, but haven't got the results every time? Do you see a change, or do you think they should stick to the same? For me, I think it's over advertised the Bazball approach. I think you've always got to be looking to score. Now, if you look at the World Test Championship final, South Africa, in the first innings, especially at the end of day 1, they were too defensive. Once you get in that defensive mind, you're just a sitting duck and you're not looking to score. So when you're in that defensive mind, your feet aren't moving as prodigiously as they should be. So you're not getting the ball as much. But when you're looking to score, all of a sudden you get your foot to the ball, you're getting better positions, and you're in a better position to defend. And if you look at South Africa in that second innings, they're looking for those 1s and 2s. All of a sudden, Australia were getting frustrated, and there were more 4-ball options than there normally is with that Australian bowling attack. So they changed their approach with their positivity. So well done to South Africa on that. And that's the way that England play as well. They're looking to take on the bowlers. And I think that's what you've got to do, try and put the bowlers under deep pressure. And if you look at that Australia Ashes series where our Lords run out Bairstow, who I thought shouldn't have been done, because if he was walking out and they knew that, they should have done it beforehand, not when the game was on the line, or it was a tough situation. So I'm an Australian in saying that, but that's the way I see it. If you're going to do it, you see it the first time that it's happened, or don't do it at all. And that particular moment changed that series. Otherwise, England would have won that. And the way they were trying to take on the Australian attack there, they were putting them under pressure. It's not going to work all the time, and it doesn't matter what style of game you play. Batsmen, the batting team, every now and then are going to be rolled for a low total. So for me, I think the way that England approached it, I think that's the right way to do it. And that's the right way to play against Burma as well. You can't let him dictate terms. You've got to try and put him off his game if you're going to win this particular series. And that's the way to play it. You've got to back yourself. You've got to back your strengths. It's as simple as that. Right, yeah. We've got questions. And I think some of these questions... Oh, hang on. Jay, he's getting into the conversation now. We're going to have a little bit of a Barney. But for England, they haven't made the top 6 in any of the World Test Championship tables since the beginning of this championship. The idea of playing over 6 or 7 runs per over in Test is killing Test cricket's charm. Well, I totally agree with you there, but I think they're trying to score out 4 runs and over. I think when Australia were going out their best, they were trying to score out 4 runs and over in the day. They were trying to get out at least 300 to make sure they give their bowlers the best chance of winning. But I don't think it's the style of game that England are playing. Let's have a quick chip at them right now. I just think they don't have the talent. England, I love the way that they play it. And I agree with you there, Jay. I think your comments are right there. Trying to go out 6 and 7 all day is probably not the style to play, but you've got to pick your moments where you're going out 6 and 7 to really change the game. And I think with their style, if they're looking to score 3.5 to 4 runs and over, I think it's exciting for Test cricket because the game's moving forward all the time. And it looks as though we might be playing 4-day cricket, 4-day Test cricket in the next Test Championship cycle. Not this one, the next one. So we'll see how we go. Arun, were you just doing a quick squat there, were you?
Yeah, I'm just getting ready for the Big Bash.
Oh, the Big Bash. Oh, that's miles away. That's miles away. But anyway, let's get into some questions. You got, yeah?
Big Bash between India and England.
Oh,
Big Bash. I think with your batting lineup, the youngsters up there, Bazball out the top of the order, Gill coming in at number 4. You've got Rahul and Sadaras, and in between those two, you've got a mixture of power and elegance there. I think that's a great top order. And Nye coming in out 5, I think that would be perfect for the first Test match at least, maybe first 2 Test matches, just to get that balance. And then as the series goes on, do you want to play that extra bowler or not? So I probably agree with Sanchit at this stage with the team in the first Test, but I don't disagree with you either, Arun. I think your thoughts are just as compelling. So I think both teams going into that first Test match would do equally well. So who's going to ask the first question? Arun.
No, before we getting into questions, I want to say one thing with this series. In England, you cannot do a catch-up game. Once you get to the point where you need to play the catch-up game, it's really hard. No, the team which decide to play the catch-up game, they're not going to win by any of the matches. They gotta be on top of their game all the time. So that's what I feel.
I agree with you, but did Australia last time come back to 2-2 after being 2-0 down?
Sorry, I lost you here.
No, did Australia come back from 2-0 down last series? It was 2-2, I think it was.
Yeah, I think Australia went 2-2 up, 2-0 up, and then
Yep. So I reckon the mindset's got to be right, and I think this young Indian team, if they're 2-0 down in the first 2 Test matches, they will come back because they led well, and I just think they've got youth on their side as well.
But like you said, Hoggy, Indian team will badly miss the essence of energy from Virat. Really.
Yep. Well, but I think as they're finding their feet with Gambia there as well, I just think this team don't if they're behind on the first Test match, don't write them off, because what I've seen with these youngsters in IPL, they're fighters. They love the pressure. They can handle the pressure. They've got the technique to be able to nail it here. The batters, the bowlers, once they get that fitness under their belt after the first Test match, they'll bowl those long spells, and they'll bowl accurately, and they know when to bowl within themselves. They can get the ball to move both ways. They can hit good areas, and they can get that good bounce. And then when they need to amp it up, they can really quicken it up. So I think someone like Siraj, Prasid, Just bowl around about 95%, 90%, and then when the time comes, go 100% and drop it off, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I just think the way that they go about it will be absolutely sensational. And they've got good bowling depth too. I think, each bowler doesn't have to bowl 5 tests. I think they've got the right bowling attack over there, or the right depth of bowlers to be able to nail England on their home soil. They've got a better bowling attack. No matter what bowling attack they put on, it will be better than the England bowling attack, especially in the pace department. So just calm down, Indian fans. All right, Arun, you go with the first question.
Yeah, again, going back to the WTC final, the last game.
Yep.
I want to ask you, do you think South Africa had Australia under the mat for most part of this game, except for the poor batting performance in the first innings, right?
Mm.
And secondly, if South Africa batted to their potential to make it count in the first innings, they could have easily affected an innings defeat on Australia, right? That would have been an icing on the cake to get opportunity of this sort to play against quality of likes of Stark, the best bowling attack in the world, as far as Test matches is concerned. What do you say? I mean, South Africa could have done a little better. Anyway, they won it. That's a different thing altogether. But still, they could have inflicted an innings defeat. That would have been icing on the cake.
Oh, definitely. I think they had Webster out there, plum LBW early on as well. So that could have been a big difference. But I think the one thing that I really loved about South Africa is they were on top with the ball from the start. They had Stuart Broad there helping them out. They listened to him, they executed well, and they kept the pressure on Australia. There were a couple of moments there. Ngedi the other thing was Ngedi. He struggled in that first innings, and you could just see the weight on his shoulders where he thought he let his team down. And then he came back in the second innings and got 3 wickets. That just shows you that, one day it's not going to go your way, but if you keep a good mindset and think, right, I'm going to get back in this contest the next day and prove my worth, you can turn things around very quickly. Same with the batting. That first innings, especially on the night of the first night, they were too tentative. They were too negative there. They went into their shell. And then they went home that night and something happened where they said, right, we've got to take this we've got to take the bull by the horns here. We can't sit here and be tentative against Australia. We're going to have to change our game plan, the way we go about it. We went back to our old ways. We're thinking about the history. We're thinking about, what happens if we lose, rather than just what can we do to play our best cricket and let the result look after itself. Once they played like that, they nailed Australia out their own game. And Australia had nothing for them in that last innings. Yes, the conditions might have been a little bit better. The sun might have been out and the ball wasn't moving as much. But this is what Australia are good at. When the conditions aren't right, they still find a way, and they weren't able to find a way and put pressure on them. So well done to South Africa, and well done to Markram and Bavuma playing that innings with a hamstring problem. That was just courage and good leadership from the front. And in a sense, I'm disappointed Australia lost. But I'm happy for South Africa, because what they've had to go through over the years, the apartheid and everything like that, come back and having the quota system and everything in their team, and they could have won a couple of World Cups if they had their main 11 there in the 50 overs. I just think it's a reward for what South Africa have gone through over many years. Yeah. So well done to South Africa.
Yeah, basically South Africa did a RCB here. For the first time, they made it count when it mattered, right? They picked at the right time and they put everything in.
Yep, exactly right. Just what you said there. Markram probably doesn't have the best Test record, but in big moments he's performed, and that just shows that he's got good mental aptitude, good mental toughness. I don't like that word, but he's got a good mental process about him. So well done to Markram. Now, Sanchin, what's your question?
Yeah, I'm firstly sorry in advance, Brad Hogg, sir. So I'm sticking to the WTC final and adding a little bit of insult to the injury, talking about Australia. So recently in the media, we saw Mitch Johnson stating that he was criticizing Josh Hazelwood for choosing IPL over preparation for the WTC final. So I just want to know what is your stance on this, and do you feel that this statement would have come if, let's say, Australia would have won the game against South Africa in the final? And like this has been a case in the last 10 years. I think earlier it was English media bashing the IPL, and now you see Australians now having a little of go at the IPL, saying that it's ruining the preparation for Test cricket and everything. And even in India, when we lost the WTC final in 2021, IPL was blamed because we had lack of preparation. So I want to know your stance as a cricketer, as an expert. What do you really think that IPL is the reason for maybe a team's this performance in this kind of format?
If it was 10 years ago, when IPL first started, I'd absolutely be caning all bowlers and all batters for doing it. But now the whole cricket world has changed, so we've accepted it, and we've got to move on with the calendar the way it is. Now, Pat Cummins performed, but he went to the IPL and played with Hyderabad, especially when we had the break, and he came back and played those 2 or 3 games. Now, you could say, well, why wasn't he putting IPL first? Australian cricket first. So if you're going to have a go at one, you've got to have a go at all of them. Hazelwood, I just think, right, well, you're part of an IPL team. Certain factors caused players having to go back and play and push it to a later date, so you couldn't get that preparation for Test cricket. But I know that Josh Hazelwood would have been bowling extra overs in the nets, getting ready for that those English conditions. Josh Hazelwood is an experienced campaigner. He's played a lot over in England, so I'm not too worried about that. The only thing that I'd be talking about is who's a better bowler in those conditions, Hazelwood or Boland. Who would you be going in there? I think if you're going to criticise something, it would be a selection issue, not so much a player issue. Because at the end of the day, players have got these opportunities. The rules, the regulations have allowed them to do it, and you really don't have a foot to stand on at the moment as Cricket Australia, because the IPL is starting to come first. As with the option, if you put your name in and you don't rock up, or you're not coming back next year or the year after, you're going to get banned. So there's certain things there that the rules and regulations have changed. It's up to the player to prepare for themselves. And Pat Cummins did it beautifully. He was bowling long spells in the nets and he was getting ready. And I'm sure Hazelwood, as I said, would have been doing that. And that's what you've got to be doing. If you're a batsman, you're training for your 2020 cricket, but you also got enough net bowlers there to sit there and go, right, I'm just going to spend the next 10 minutes just practicing my Test cricket. Sachin Tendulkar, who we're just naming this series after the Ashes series with Anderson, he was a great component of that. He'd be training for Test cricket, knowing that there's a one-day game around the corner and just going, right, I just need to work on this for the one-day game. And then he'll go back and just make sure that he's got everything right for Test cricket. So for me, the world of cricket's changed. It's up to the player to prepare for himself. And if Hazelwood hasn't performed here, well, Boland comes in for the next Test match. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. So, and I don't. The only way that I'll complain about a player or get stuck into a player if I think they haven't prepared well enough for it. Doesn't mean that they haven't trained the house down on the training track. It could be mentally. It could be just what they're doing off the field and everything like that. If I don't think they've prepared well, that's when I'll have a little bit of a crack at them. But it's no point. We're all human beings and we all learn from our mistakes, and we're all trying to do the best that we can with our life. And these guys love cricket, and they're getting the opportunity to play all 3 forms of the game, and a lot of us didn't get that opportunity. So we've got to be grateful for that. That's a good point that you bring up. Yeah, good observation too. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, going back to IPL again this season. Okay,
Yep.
RCB finally broke the jinx, 18-year jinx. It's been a kind of a Virat. It's a both win-win situation for both RCB and Virat in particular. Do you think Patida, the young captain, did had any impact on the side or it's the key players rising to the occasion, literally, brought them the cup? Which factor do you think really weighted in favor of RCB?
Now, this is a very, very, very good question. I think you've got the captain there who controls the culture on the field. And look, at the end of the day, when you're in a cricket team, as bowlers, you've got to be acting as a captain yourself. You've got to be prepared with your plans. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be adaptable to the situations. You've got to be willing to change as well. The captain's there just to throw a few ideas up to the bowlers when things aren't going right. And then you both work out a game plan to adapt there and then. So for me, I think Patadar and the coaching staff and all the senior players all play a part in a collective group trying to get that culture together. So you're all working together as a team. I think Patadar is the leader. And one thing that I can say, if a team's had this much success and won a title, the rest of the team respect him. You've got a player in there with like Virat Kohli, who's led that team. He's led India. He's got a big reputation, and they've still got over the line and won the tournament with Patadar captaining. So that shows Kohli's respect for Patadar as well. So for me, I think Patadar as a leader has taken it on, taken responsibility, led the team well because he's got the respect of the other players. And when a captain's got the respect of the other players, he's done a fantastic job. So whether they won or lost that final, I think Patadar has done a magnificent job. Yeah, I think the coaching staff too have done a wonderful job, and just having the right depth that they did this year. Jedish Sharma coming in out the lower order there, he was a big bonus out the back end because Livingston and David, they were up and down through the series. David was having his issues, so I just think they had a better balanced batting lineup this year, and they had the right bowlers for their wicket out Bengaluru. You had Booby swinging the ball, Yale, who I think is a fantastic bowler in IPL cricket, a left armer with that variety. So you had both of them opening the bowling, and then you can use Hazelwood in the middle overs with the spinners. I just think it was perfect balance that they had. Vanati Singh, how are you going? Key players stood at different situations. 9 different player of the matches. Hey, right. Vanata Singh, is that how we pronounce it? Vanata Singh?
Varnata.
Vanata Singh. Vanata Singh. You're right on the money, mate. You're right on the money, Vanata. I love it. Love it. I was really happy for RCB this year. They've just been a marketing machine throughout the whole IPL history. Finally, they're a cricket machine. So well done, RCB. Clinch, you got another question. Come on. Get in there. Get into me. One of those Australian ones.
Yeah, but I'll probably stick to the IPL for now. I mean, speaking about leadership, about how we talked about Rajat Patidar, let's talk about the runners-up. Let's talk about Shreyas Iyer. I mean, he's been the talk of the town in India as far as leadership is concerned and as far as fan following is concerned. So in the last 5 years, you see 2 runners-up title and 1 IPL trophy. And also, if you talk about domestic cricket, he's led Mumbai to Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy in 2023, and recently just fell short of Mumbai T20 League for Sobo Mumbai Falcons. So, according to you, Brad sir, Shreyas Iyer is touted as the next man to take India forward in white ball cricket. So, where do you see your opinion on this? Is he the right man to lead India in white ball cricket? And where does this lead someone like a Rohit Sharma, whose aspiration is still there to lead India in 2027 World Cup?
Oh. I know there's Rohit Sharma fans out there, but I think we've got to move on now. He retired from Test cricket. I think there's youth out there. I think the time's right now to move on. Shreyas Iyer leadership. I think he's got a very smart cricket brain. His batting. He is probably one of the most talented batters I've ever seen. Some of the shots he's played is ridiculous. But both games against RCB in the playoffs, that's the first playoff game that they played and the final, weren't good. weren't good. He fell under pressure against RCB there, and against Shepherd there. I couldn't believe that he got caught behind against Shepherd. That was just not a shot to play in that situation. And that was the second ball that he faced. I'm just looking at the scorecard there. If you look at the game before, it was against Mumbai, wasn't it? Where he took his time. And once he took his time, he really nailed it out the back end. So for me, I think when it came to RCB, he should have taken 3 or 4 more balls, if not 6 more balls, to get going, because he was the player that was going to be able to take it away on his terms without taking the big risks like the other players have to, because he's got that much talent. So for me, he's got the cricket brains, he's got the nous. It's just the odd shot decision making that he's got to work out, especially early on in his innings in big games. And people who say that he can't play the pull shot, he's got a problem with the short ball. That's one thing that I like about it. He's trying to find the answers there. He's getting better at it. Not fully polished at it yet, but it's good enough at international level to make bowlers not target that as they used to when he first came on. So for me, Shreyas Iyer, captain of India for the white ball format moving forward, I'd actually go with Gill, because I think Gill's going to be more, he's captain of the test team. I think he should be captaining all 3 formats. You just have the one leader for a while, give him that experience, and he's probably going to be settled in that team a lot more than what Shreyas Iyer is at the present moment, simply because of those 2 shots he played against RCB. And I'll be pretty tough on him there. But as a selector and someone sitting back and making those decisions, those little moments count. So it's pretty tough. I know I'm pretty tough on Shreyas Iyer, but we're trying to take India from there to the next level now, because they're in a new era, and you've got to make sure you make things a little tougher for these younger players so that they learn from their lessons. Hey, Jay, you're back again. Shreyas Iyer, best win ratio as captain in IPL. Oh, kick me up the backside after that comment. You are right. And only captain to lead 3 different teams in IPL final. Phenomenal player. Yes, you are right there. 3 different teams in IPL. That could be a bit of a problem too. So yeah, you got my little cheekiness there, didn't you, Sanchit? No, right. Now, Run, you've got another question. We better get through these quickly, because we've been there for an hour, and Sanchit's got to get on with his own show and get down to that North Stand, because there's a big game down there out Mumbai happening tonight. All right.
Yeah, I got a question here again. Like, with the game is evolving thick and fast, right? These T20 games. What do you think of the baby belligerent Suryavamshi? It's getting onto scene. Is it like a generational? Is it too early to tag him as a generation talent, or is he? Do you really see the likes of David Warner or Chris Gale in their prime in this kid? Will he go the distance? Do you think he has it in him?
Look, it's actually a scary thing for a young kid like that to be given the opportunity as a 14-year-old. I think you've got to have some good people around him, because there's more to life than just playing cricket, and that's probably one aspect that I'm worried about him. What's his friend group like back in his hometown at the same age? What's his schooling like? I think there's more things to life than just cricket. I think you've got to be well-rounded. And I'll go back to a player that I played with over in England in county cricket, who played international cricket. And the coach of the time sat down with him and said, started asking questions about other things in the world. And he goes, "Oh, no, I'm just concentrating on my cricket. Focus on my cricket. If I make it in cricket, I set my life up." When he finished his cricket career, it was like, I should have been more well-rounded in the worldly things, understand different things. And I think if you look at the best coaches around the world in NBA, I can't wrap it off the top of my head, but he'd be asking in team meetings something, what's everyone's opinion on a political issue or a worldly issue, something might be happening in Israel and Gaza right now, and just asking players for their different opinions. But in that closed room, It's your honest opinion, what you're actually feeling, because what that's doing is making you think outside the box, making you think of something different, making your brain tick so that it's not just concentrating on cricket, but also trying to find out who you are as a person. What makes you? Are you willing to stand up and make a controversial comment about something different in the world in front of your peers and your teammates, and have a genuine discussion where you can have a little bit of a debate, which is a respected debate, which we don't do these days. So for me, for the young fella, 14 years of age, I just want to make sure that he's got those other things in life sorted out, so that he's growing as a full human being. He's not just making that identity as a cricketer, because if you just make your identity as a cricketer, you're lost in the world, because there's so much more to you than just playing cricket. And that's the big worry for me. But can he be as good as David Warner, Chris Carp? Yeah, definitely. He's playing out this age now, but he's going to have some big lessons over the next year or two. People are going to find him and target him. And I think, just like Shreyas Iyer, sometimes there's a bit of slogging there. I think he can bring a bit of Satarasan into his game, as well as that power game. And if he can balance that out, he could be something very special. But at the moment, I'd just be saying, enjoy your career. You've got an opportunity here, but for Christ's sake, go out there and have fun with your kids. Be a kid. You know, you're 14, 15 years of age. There's a lot more to cricket as well. So, yeah, it's a big one, all right? A big one. It's a good point. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the reason I asked this specific question, because we already lost players like Prithvi Shaw, who came to the scene with the tagline of next Sachin Tendulkar in the making. But we lost him, but for different reasons altogether. But what I'm trying to emphasize here, a player like Suryavanshi with that much talent right at this age should be groomed properly, other than his personal. See, professional sport is something different from your personal thing, right? When you decide that you want to go big on professional sport, you got to give it your all. That's what I'm trying to say. For example, even if you focus on, like you said, other aspects of the game, not going bang bang. And it's just the exuberance of youth, getting the better of him right now. But over a period of time, he definitely will learn from the likes of, being shouldering humps with players like in IPL. He anyway is going to get a lot of chances. What I'm trying to say, he should be groomed properly. I believe that this guy is something special, but he needs proper grooming.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think the big thing there is you've got to have the right people around, because there is a little bit of greed around, and someone can take advantage of him. And if the wrong person takes advantage of him, something bad could happen down the track. And I don't like being the pessimist there. That's why you've got to make sure that he's got the perfect manager around. And the BCCI have to step in here. If someone's going to manage him, and we do this in Australia, you've got to be regulated here. You've got to go through a course as such to make sure that you're the right fit to manage players. They've got to make sure that they've got the right person managing him. So, Sanchit, you could be doing that in the North Stand, managing him.
Definitely.
All right, that's a very good question. Sanchit?
Yeah. So coming back to Australia, Brad, and talking about Australia's problem, we spoke about Hazelwood, we spoke about the bowling, and now there's one more glaring problem that has been seen in Australian team since the last 6 or 7 months. It's the opening conundrum. So at the start of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, we saw Steve Smith opening the innings for Australia, and then he was moved down when Sam Constas made his debut. And now in the WTC final, once again you saw Marnus, who has never opened in Test cricket, given a chance to open in a big final, and then of course it didn't come out as the way it should have been. So I want to know your stance on this. What do you make of this opening conundrum, the dilemma, and who do you see as the potential someone to take Australian opening slot to next level? Because we got the Ashes coming up soon, and you really don't need to have that problem going into that series. So who do you think are the best names to be the long-term options for Australia at the top of the order?
So for me, I'd go Constas and who's the South Australian that played last year? I had his name on mine. I was just about to say it, and I can't get it out. McSweeney. I'd have them two opening the batting. I'd think about having Inglis open the batting as well. I'd like to say Sam Whiteman from West Australia. He's done so well over the last couple of years. Consistent performer, but the problem is he's out that 30 age group. So he's just getting a bit long in the tooth. So if you want to go with youth, I'd go with McSweeney and Costas, but you've got to get Inglis in there at some stage. So for me, I'd think Costas and Inglis to open the batting. I'd think about if Green can start bowling again, he'll come back in down out number 6 for Webster. And yeah, might have McSweeney coming in out number 3, because you've got to make sure that you bring the youth through right now, because you've got Smith, Head, who are experienced in the middle order, Green and Carey, all that experience in the middle order. So, right, let's get a bit of youth up the top there, get them exposed, and once they get the experience and the middle order start to retire, then all of a sudden we're making the transition there. We don't want too many big transitions throughout the year. So for me, I'd be getting a new opening combination as quickly as possible right now with Australia moving forward. Jay, he's going to pop in here with a little remark. Australia need a proper opening pair. Costas has to be one, surely. I agree with you there. And they need to be having one more proper one like McSweeney. Agree with you there. Marnus Smith should stick to 3 and 4 respectively. Definitely. But Inglis, when I throw the name Inglis up there, he is batted in a variety of positions for WA. He is adaptable and loves the challenge, and I think his technique is perfect to be an open batter for Australia if he's not going to keep with Carey there. Too many experience done from Australia post Warner's retirement has resulted in that loss in the final, in my opinion. Jay, I agree with you. But that's what Australia's all about, experimentation. Now we've got to go back to the drawing board, kick those openers out and get 2 new ones in there. All right?
Yeah, of course. Sancons, the best part of the Australian team is even Marnus Labuschagne, when he first came to the scene, he came in as a concussion sub, right? Yep. But you never know with Australia. They keep producing players like, from nowhere, coming to the scene and making a mark for themselves. So it's just a matter of time. But I feel it's time for Khawaja to kind of hanging his boot right now, because someone has to step up from, even BBL, they can find players, they're good quality, good sound technique. See, more than the temperament, it's more to do with the technique for test matches. So I believe you can pick a lot from them, but Constance definitely should be there as an opener for sure, because he got the right step. Even if you want to go bang, he can do that, and he can just settle down and spend some time in the middle to score. He can do that as well, but you need to be partnered with the right player at least for a certain period of time. Consistency is the key. There's someone who partnering need to be given a long rope before making any judgment on the other player.
Exactly right. And you are right. We find players from anywhere. We've got a couple coming from India right now, the 2 Sanger boys. Have you got another question there, Russ?
Yeah, I have one more question, one last question I want to make today.
Yep.
It's again to India-England series. Do you think Gill's been handed over captaincy a little too early, purely based on his captaincy stint with IPL? Because it's a totally different format altogether. I understand that for him, he need to bat at number 4. I want to play him as a middle order batter. KL Rahul seems to have that tenacity and calm and composed nature to lead the side, and Gill can learn from B's deputy as well. I feel it's too early for him to be at the helm right now in a high-profile series like this. That too in their backyard.
I reckon Gill's right for the picking right now. I think he's calm, collect. The way that he captains his IPL team is just sensational. He doesn't really feel the pressure. The other thing is, I've seen his leadership style when I was in Bangladesh at the breakfast table. No, it was the dinner table. He was walking along and he picked up a bit of naan bread. He didn't like it, and he picked up another piece. So he really knows how to pick the right piece of naan bread as well. So for me, that tells me that he's right for the picking for the Test team captaincy. Oh, look, I don't. On a serious note, I don't think the BCCI or the powers to be would be picking Gill as the captain if they don't think he's the right man for the job. We don't know what he's like in the change rooms. I see him out in the middle. I hear a few players talking about him, but just the way that I've seen him on a training track, playing in the middle, the way that he's around the group on the outside, as me as a player, especially this couple of years ago, you could see the leadership in him. So for me, I think it's the right time to pick a young leader. They're going to hope that he can captain for 4, 5, maybe 6 years, have a long period of time there where they've got that stability, especially with a new group. They grow together. Bang, I think it's right. I think if you go back to KL Rahul, I think that's dangerous because he's in and out of the team. He's Mr. Fix-It, as I'd put him. He's probably been the most important player India have had over the last 5 years because he's filled different roles. That's what KL Rahul is there for now. And I just think you've got to move past him and go with Gill. I know what you're trying to say there. I agree with you, but if, from my opinion, I'd be going with Gill. Yep, go for
Okay.
it. Yep.
Okay, which slot do you think Gill should play right through the series, not for 1 or 2 test matches, right through the series? If you want him to play at one particular slot, what would it be?
That's an interesting one. I'll definitely have Bazball opening the batting. I'd like to have Gill opening the batting, but if you're going to go with Rahul and Gill coming in at number 4, who's going to open the batting when Rahul pulls the pin? Or if Shreyas Iyer is going to come in, Shreyas Iyer would be a batsman that's going to be number 4, and Naya number 5, as Sanchit and I agree with that position there. So if I was going to play Test cricket eventually, he'll be coming in our number 4, and Gill would have to open. For me, I'd have Gill and Bazball opening right now, Satarasan coming in out 3, and Rahul coming out 4. I think that number 4 position is going to be the position that's going to have to be filled moving forward. And I think Gill and Bazball would be the perfect opening combination. Gill can be steady, Bazball can be aggressive, and if Gill bats through the innings and he gets there with Parn out the back end, then those two can really motor along. So that's the way I'd probably go about it.
Okay, I slightly disagree. Yeah,
yep.
I slightly disagree here. I will play Gill at number 4. The reason being, in England, unlike Australia, the batsman here, Gill's nature is to play a little bit hard. His hand, come quick hard at him. He's so good at playing the cut shots. In England, you need to play a little bit late. With the ball seaming around, it's always better to play a bit late. So you need a sound technique like KL Rahul to negate the seam. And he's so good at judging the ball, whether it's what speed it's coming. So I feel once the shine goes off the new ball, Gill will have that ability to play his shots with a lot more freedom than being an opener.
I agree with you in English conditions. Do you agree with? Would you have Gill opening in Australia and India then?
Yeah, of course. Gill definitely has that ability to play as an opener in Australia for sure.
Yeah. So that's where you're going to be chopping and changing, because when you bring that consistent number 4 in, Gill can't go up and down like that. So I agree with what you're saying. But if Gill's going to be opening the batting for all the other tournaments or all the other countries that he's going to be playing in, he's got to be opening here and he's got to learn to adapt. That's the way I'd approach it. Or he's number 4 for the long haul.
But to make things worse, India go to Sena countries once in a while, like 2 to 3, 4 years gap. So it's really hard for a player to find the rhythm, right? So it's actually the form leading to the tour really matters. The frame of mind, the form, the kind of form that you are in. So all these things matter. Right now, KL Rahul is in absolute form of his life with confidence sky high and having scored some runs even in the practice matches leading to the series. So that will really keep him in good stead, even if he's a kind of a torch bearer right now at the top. So I believe KL should come, batter four right throughout the series, no matter what, how bad he bats. He's a kind of a player. If he gets into the groove, he will make it count. He will give you that cushion that you don't need to look for the backup opener.
Yep, definitely. Love your opinions there, Run. Now, Sanchez got one more question, and then we're going to put the Indian team to bed at the end of this with the lineup, and we're all going to agree with the 11 before we leave. We've got to do that quickly. So we've got to find out who's opening, who's out number 4, and are we going to play Sundar or Naya? Sanchez?
Yeah. So coming back to Test cricket overall. So I was just reading an article on ESPN Cricket for talking about the future of wrist spinners. So that's being a wrist spinner, we know how amazing skill it is to be a wrist spinner. So recently we have seen the likes of Kuldeep Yadav and Adil Rashid to an extent being the torch bearers for Test cricket as wrist spinners. So where has the talent gone? I mean, coming from a land which has produced the likes of Shane Warne, Brad Hogg himself, do you see any exciting talents from Australia coming through as wrist spinners? Because this format really needs the charm of a wrist spinner, because I think that is one of the my favorite bowling actions. So what is your stance on this?
I was very upset that Swepson didn't go to Sri Lanka. I think he's a fantastic find. Tanvir Sangha, he's another one there. The 2 leg spinners there. We've got a couple of leg spinners here in WA that aren't in the state squad that have a little bit of talent to move forward. So they're the only 2 that I really see that are coming through. But I've got to say, I do a bit of coaching around here in Western Australia, and some of the young talent that's coming through, I'm talking 13, 14, 15-year-olds. So in about 3 or 4 years' time, there's going to be some leg spinner talent here come through and really take centre stage. But there's also some young talent coming on around the globe as well, around the rest of Australia. And I think we've got to be very careful with the way that we bring them up, making sure that they do get those opportunities in the game. Because sometimes we go to our pace bowlers way too much, and we don't give our spinners enough opportunities. So if a spinner gets hit for 2 fours in the over, we bring him off. We don't bring him back for a long period of time in that particular game. So if we've got a 90-over game in club cricket here, the spinner goes for 2 fours. He might not bowl till we get in the 80 over again mark. But if a quick bowler goes to 2 fours, we take him off and we bring him back in 6 overs time. It's just ridiculous the way that we treat spinners. So we've got to. It's more about nurturing them in a game and getting captains the right knowledge of how to operate with a spinner and how to set and manipulate the fields, because it's all about in and out fields, getting and moving the field. So let's say I'm bowling now. If I was bowling in Test cricket, the mid-off and mid-on, I'll be bringing up, pushing back mid-over just to try and change the momentum of the batter. So, right, he'll push it down to deep mid-on for 1, and then 3 balls later, he's on strike again. I'll bring him up to try and get him to hit it harder, and that brings the catches in if in short mid-wicket and cover. So, teaching captains to be able to have the nous to be able to do that, the confidence to do that, and back the bowler, the spinner. That's one thing that we need to work on here in Australia. It's not so much the talent, it's the way that we captain the team. Righty up. Now, we've got India taking on England. Well done to South Africa. You 2 are very happy that South Africa beat Australia, aren't you? Yes, thumbs up. Come on, thumbs up. Yep, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, I've been here. Right, so we've got Bazball and Gill opening the batting. Do we all agree on that?
I'll actually agree with Arun here. I'll go with KL at the top and Gill at 4.
All right. Yeah. Then Bazball.
That is the one. That is where I would disagree with you, sir.
Satarasan 3,
Yeah.
Gill 4.
Yes.
Who are we having 5? No.
It's very difficult. I mean, as per the situation, we mentioned earlier about the potential of punt depending on the situation. So I'd actually have someone like Nair at 5, 6 Jadeja, and yeah, 7 punt.
What about you, Arun?
Yeah, it's a good idea. If Karun Nair to bat at number 5, I'll go with him. He's a good player at 5. Seriously, he has the technique to weather the storm for sure.
Right, yeah. And then Jadeja, Pant,
Then
Tarkor.
No, Punch should come in at 6 for me. Not too
Yep,
late.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
You, Sanchit, are you moving Pant up to 6?
Yeah, so depending on the situation, like I said, I mean, obviously, if you have a batting collapse, then you need punt at 6. But if we are dominating a session, if you're dominating a game, let's say 350, 400, I hope that happens, then you need punt lower down the order just to take on the tired English bowlers, inexperienced English bowlers to the cleaners. Like what he did, he had a little bit of a phase in Sydney in the last series where he, I think, took over the bowling lineup. So I think one session from Rishabh Pant could change the game. So if that happens, then I would have him at 7. But majoritarily, I think 6 is fine.
Yep.
On the lighter side, it doesn't matter for Rishabh Pant as far as the bowlers are fresh or retired. He's going to go play his natural game, bang bang. It doesn't matter whether the bowler is fresh or not.
Arun, I agree with you. I love it. I can take them on at any stage. So we've got 7. So Tarkor or Kuldeep coming in at 8. Are we going to go with 4 seamers or 1 spinner?
I think we'll go with seamers more, at least in the first few matches. And then when we come to Oval, we might go with 2 spinners.
Right, so we've got Tarkor, Prasid, Arshdeep Singh, and Boomer or Siraj. Or Boomer or Deep.
Here I differ a bit. Actually, I would want the variety of Arshdeep Singh, left armer, in place of Prasid. Because you already have Bumrah, he's going to anyway create problems. Siraj is a good pair for Bumrah to assist him just by sticking to basics. Arshdeep can unveil his own guile of doing swing over here and there, can cause problems. Because too many right-handed bowlers will be more predictable.
So you're going with Arshdeep Singh and Akashdeep?
No. Arshdeep Singh, Siraj and Bumrah.
Siraj and Bumrah. Right, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, I'll actually go with, so I agree with Arun sir. I think having Arshdeep fit and ready for all the 5 test matches will be amazing. So Arshdeep, Prasid, and Bumrah and Siraj. I think that position, Bumrah and Siraj, will be altered as per the situation. We don't know which 3 games Bumrah is going to play. But if he plays the game, I think it's going to be in place of Siraj. But if Bumrah doesn't play, I'll play Siraj because he had the experience in England. 2021, he toured there. So these 3 will be my seamers along with Shardul, of course. And then you have Jadeja as a spinner.
Yeah. I've got Prasid in there. I'm just liking Prasid, Krishna. I just think with the extra height there, Mohammad Siraj swapping with Boomer, and if Siraj is bowling well, you might be able to have them play the same game at some stage. And Akashdeep will play 1 or 2 games as well. Arshdeep Singh, I think he's going to be the bee's knees over there with the Duke ball, especially when it's new. And if they can get it to reverse, he'll be very, very dangerous. So there's our team for India. Are we happy with that? India going to win 5-0?
I'll not say anything.
I reckon India will win 4-1.
You'd love it if we win finally, right?
No, I think India will beat them 4-1. Beat England 4-1.
We'll take that.
No, I will give it England 3-2 because in their backyard with their batting approach, it's really hard to stop with just Bumrah firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
you got to be a bit realistic as well.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with you, but I don't think you need Boomer as much as you think. I think the other bowlers can stand up and deliver. I'm backing them. I've got something for Krishna and Arshdeep Singh. I think they're going to be very special in this particular series. So I'm backing those two bowlers. Hey, guys, thanks very much for joining me. It's been a great session. Now, Arun, you keep enjoying it down there in Chennai, Sanchit, talking about talent. Name me one bit of talent that's coming out of Mumbai cricket right now that you've seen in the North Stand.
Yeah, so I'll go with an all-rounder named Sairaj Patil. He's been really good for Mumbai cricket recently. And recently in the T20 Mumbai League that was just happening last week, he had a stellar performance. So he's someone who actually shows that kind of flair, and he's kind of a fan favorite as well in Mumbai cricket. He's yet to make his name in the longer format Ranji Trophy cricket and domestic cricket as a whole. But I see him as a talent, especially knowing how India loves its pace bowling all-rounder and the demand for a pace bowling all-rounder in Indian cricket, especially in the longer format. So someone like a Sairaj Patil who has that in him, he's got the fitness which someone like a Virat Kohli has instilled upon his Indian team. So I think he's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
Sairaj Patel, was it?
Sairaj Patil, yes.
Patil.
And also what Jehan mentioned in the comment section, Ayush Matre and Tanush Kotian. Tanush Kotian is touted to be the next Ravichandran Ashwin, the replacement of Ashwin, especially in the home leg. So he's going to be one to watch out for as well.
Right. Ayush Matre. Right. Big hopes there. Ashwin and Tanush Kotian.
Yes.
I like that. Now, thanks very much, guys, for joining us. Now, if you want to join us on Hog Live, like both Arun and Sanchit, fill out that Google form and let's have a little bit of a chat about cricket and other things if you want. Love it. See you soon. Hog out.